when I tell you to go with your passion, I also mean to pay attention to the craft, which is what we're here to work on. Because in paying attention to that craft, it makes you marketable for all types of opportunities. The mindset might be, I don't want to do that, and I've said it many times, but I can do it. And in the can of it, you get a check. In the can of it, you exercise your muscle. In the can of it, you continue to show that even though I can do the basics of it, I can also do it on a high level. We're talking about setting up kind of a trust. It might be a 5-minute interview, a 10-minute interview, or an hour interview. Your goal is to set up enough trust in that subject that they will give you the best answers possible, the most honest answers possible, all right? The finished product may be a piece of writing that you craft, but the material is a result of the interviews you conduct. So one of the things we recommend is when you are preparing to interview someone, when you have the luxury of preparing to interview someone, which you should always take that luxury even if it's a short window of time, you want to structure your thoughts. You want to organize your thoughts so that you're kind of in charge of what you're communicating so you can get what you need for your story. That's why it's often good to outline your story before you go in so you know what you need the person to give you to make your story a complete piece, to make your video a complete piece, to make the narrative full and objective. Write down your questions, and this is an interesting one. Now, you know, it's so great to go question number 1, question number 2, question number 3, question number 4, and you want to write all of them. You want to write every question you want. You might have 2 angles that you can pursue on a story, which in freelance world is really a thing.
Because we sell it to.
Because you can sell it twice, you know. So to get both stories covered via this interview source, you've got to maybe ask twice as many questions to make sure you're covering both angles so that you have the responses you need for maybe the assignment at hand, and then you have some bonus responses that could inform another piece that you can sell to somebody else.
And this is an important point. I think when you are a young reporter, you under-report. And what young reporters in particular need to do is to over-report. To make sure you've got everything covered. You may not empty all of those notes into the story, but you need to over-report.
And don't see over-reporting as taking longer. It may mean working faster with higher volume. And that's who we are. Some of this information I need them to respond to is basic. It's not going to upset them, it's generic. So maybe you start with the stuff that's not going to upset them and you save the controversial thing for later. But you know what? There might be that person with whom you don't need the basic information because you're going to get that from other voices. So just get to what you need to get to, because if you're not going to get it, you better get it somewhere else. You know what I mean? And so in prioritizing your questions, be present to who you're interviewing and be present to the moment. Because if you have that list of questions with you and the person's already answered question number 5, don't answer question number 5.
And so he's saying, like, listening
active listening.
What we do. Listen. Like, y'all, Sarah did a beautiful job, nervous as she was, starting her interview yesterday. There were some questions she did not have on her list, but based on her sources' answers, there was a natural question that she should have asked. Listen to people. Even though you don't have the question, your sources will lead you to the questions. Okay.
If you're doing the interview and you're off camera, sometimes the person's thinking about it. Sometimes they end, and then you're wondering why they ended. Let it live a little bit before you interrupt it, because they could be thinking to say more. And if you feel uncomfortable in the silence, then it might cut off the thought.
You said TV, but that's true, period.
In life, that in whatever medium, and in whatever medium. So just don't let silence kill you. I'm Patrick Riley.
Hi.
So how does it feel to be here at the Urban Journalism Workshop?
It feels so great. I'm learning so much.
Tell us a little bit about where you're from. Sort you know, what kind of led you here? Where are you from?
I'm from the Bronx, and I've always had a passion for journalism. I like bringing news to light in the world and having people have an open mind.
So here we are at the Urban Journalism Workshop. What is next for you?
Well, I think after this, I'm definitely going to go and try to find some internships, some more opportunities, and see where it leads me.
Well, good luck to you.
Retake. I'm Jeffrey Cohn. I'm from the Spectrum. Nice to meet you. What is your name?
Hi, I'm Kayla Blair. Nice to meet you.
What brings you here?
I'm here because I want to explore my interests when it comes to applying for colleges and looking at majors, you know, learning.
Okay. What's next for you?
What's next for me is also getting into more like workshops like this or different, like I said, with the different majors that I'm looking into.
Okay. Nice to meet you.
In mind, these are your friends. This is your audience.
Okay.
So you're engaging audience and your guest.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah.
Okay? 3, 2, 1, action.
Good afternoon. I'm Uma Patla from the Spectrum, and I'm here with Emmanuel De La Rosa, who is a student at the Urban Journalism Workshop. How are you today?
Well, I'm very excited. I'm very glad to be here and excited to try different things.
And so, what was your reaction when you got into the program?
Well, at first I was at home drinking tea with a biscuit, but I was very excited and I didn't know that I was, you know, one of the people that could be selected for this program. So it's a privilege. So thank you to NYU for everything that you have done. And hi, Mom, how is everything?
And given that, what are you hoping to gain from this?
Well, I'm hoping to gain a skill in writing because I'm not very well at putting sentences together. But with Mrs. Gray's help, everything is fine. Follow my social media at MANIM5316.
Well, I'm sure you're going to do greatly, and I'm sure Miss Gray will help you along the way. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
That was